Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It has been quite a long time since the last time I uploaded, but for today's video it's going to be very interesting since I am celebrating my 4 years of living here in Dubai. And so I thought, why not make a video about what are the things that I really loved about Dubai. And I'm just gonna say the 5 best things based on my experience, everything that I really loved about, and the reasons why I actually decided to stay here longer than I initially planned. So and I would like to say also that there are a lot of more reasons to stay here in the UAE apart from this 5, and I'm gonna talk about that in my next video, so for part 2. But in this video, just mainly about the things that I really love and the things that I really liked about staying here in the UAE. So let's get started. So the first thing, when I moved here, I was just, I think, around 22, and I just graduated 2 years before that. So everything was actually fresh for me. Everything was new. Meeting people was such a thing for me back in my country. And when I moved here, one of the things that I noticed is the diversity. This is one thing that I really liked, because in my country, back then, I was stuck in that idea that this was the kind of people that I was gonna meet my entire life. But when I moved here, first year, I really got fascinated about the idea of exploring and getting to know different cultures, different nationalities, different perspective, different mentality, food, for example, the lifestyle. So it's really one thing that I learned, because I stepped out of my comfort zone and I found out, whoa, the world is really that big. So the food, oh my goodness, it's you have a lot of choices, Asian cuisines, for example, and of course Arab cuisines also, and a lot more. European Western cuisines also are here. So depending on your preference, depending on your lifestyle also and what you can afford, there are variety and a lot of options to choose from. So for me as an individual who can afford this, I can always have the option to do this and go to the store, food, a restaurant, and all that stuff. And the best thing is that it's affordable, right? So that's what I really liked about the community is big. And as a Filipino living here, I was surprised also to have found that that there's a huge number of population of Filipinos here. So that's a good thing for me. It felt like a bit of home for me for the first years, because at least I have a lot of people that I feel that I know them, that I feel that I just belong to this place. The next thing is the safety, and I think everyone can agree, everyone know that UAE is known as one of the safest country to live in. All right, so but I'd like to talk about, because when I consider about safety, there's physical safety and there's psychological safety. In this video, I just want to focus on the physical safety, although they're both related to each other. But I would say the physical safety here in the UAE is really it's safe. What more can I say about it? But because for example, due to the busy life that you have here from work, for example, usually you would finish at 6 from working from 9 to 6. So most of your free time would be at night, and you would want to socialize, meet people, and you wouldn't notice how time flies so fast. And going home late is not of a big issue. in the UAE. And aside from that, also you can use your phone in public. You can even leave your stuff in a restaurant. If you wanted to go to the bathroom, just leave it on the table, and you would assume that nobody's gonna take that because of how secure and safe the place is. All right, so that's one thing, because as a person who is kind of paranoid, or who grew up in a country where this is an issue, or this is a thing that we're really cautious about, it was such a relief for me. So that's one good thing. And it was good for my psychological safety also. So the next thing is learning. I would say because I started working here from sales, and then I moved to as an English trainer. That's where I stayed longer, like for like 3 years. So when I worked there, of course, the moment I moved here, I learned already a lot of things about what I mentioned, diversity and everything. But what I really liked about is, as a trainer, of course, we want to learn a lot of things from time to time, you know, the professional development. Surprisingly, there are a lot of courses, for example, a lot of events, workshop that is being held here in Dubai specifically, especially before the pandemic. I've been attending a lot of different workshops and events, and you would see that it's actually these free events, free entrance. This are happening or being held in like hotels, halls. So it's really a big thing. For me, it was such a huge advantage and benefit for me, because I love the idea of learning, and I love the idea of just going places to listen and learn and study, you know. So one of the biggest events that I've attended was when Lisa Nichols, I think she's from US, and she went here to give a talk about her success, about her business, and about her life. She's a life coach, like mentor also, and I look up to her. And for me, that was such a big thing to have met my inspiration, one of the people that I look up to. And also, there are a lot of, as I mentioned, there are a lot of events and workshops. Some of the biggest workshops that I've attended was with Toastmasters Club, which is about the art of public speaking, and how to overcome your public speaking anxiety. I learned a lot from that and I wanted to attend those because I was also a trainer, and I wanted to learn more about the strategies and the techniques, and for me that was a big benefit. So, and how did I find these things? You know, a lot of advertisements on Facebook, and because I'm subscribed to their email, I've been receiving the updates from this biggest events organizer here in the UAE. And then we have this application called Meetup. So it's not like a dating it's not like a dating app as it sounds, but Meetup is mainly like a social network where you will find different events, gatherings, for example. This is where I found the Toastmasters Club and speaking anxiety, for example. Different topics and genre that you will find there. So, for example, about mental wellness. Some of the gatherings are free. Some of them are. There's quite an entrance fee or something like that. I remember also attending a workshop about cryptocurrency and all that. So it's really this is something that usually in another country would cost you. So, but surprisingly here in the UAE, it's something that they share for free. So why not take advantage of it? Then the last two things. The fourth one is the traffic. Okay, so the word itself, well, I'm not driving here in the UAE, but my friends do, and I'm usually traveling by car also. So what I really liked here is, despite the traffic, it's not that worse compared to other countries, right? So usually you would just be traveling for like, if you're in Dubai, it's quite far, 20 to 30 minutes, but this kind of duration would be more from another. If you travel, for example, my country will be minimum 1 hour, but here you can travel from that place to here to for like just 20 to 30 minutes. So that's the thing that I like. You don't lose much time traveling, and plus the fact that the travel and the transportation here is also very convenient if you live in some of the places near the metro, so everything is just accessible for you. And the metro, most of the people here travel by metro, so that's why there's less traffic drivers on the road when you travel by car. And down to the last thing is my career growth. Of course, we came here not just to explore and live the life, but also to be able to support your family back home. My career growth has allowed me to be able to support my family more. I started as a sales, and then I moved to as a trainer. After 1 year, my company offered me a different position, which is to become an assessor, and this is where I really learned a lot of things from and attending a lot of different trainings and workshop. And I felt, that my contribution was being valued by my company, and it felt like I was successful enough. The fact that my contribution is being recognized, and that they are always recommending me to attend any training or any meetings with our partners, for example. So the mere fact that you feel those things would make you want to stay more and longer in this country. And for me, that was also like a big thing. To get that career, something that is not easy for me to achieve back in my country. Although, of course, every experience is different from one another, but so far it was one of the best things. One of the main reasons why I stayed here was because of my career growth, because I see, and the people and my employers see the potential in me, and gave me a lot of opportunities to learn, to grow, and of course to enjoy my life here in the UAE. Living here in the UAE, especially alone, is not an easy road. It has been a roller coaster ride for me also, of course, and that is what I want to share with you in my next video. But yeah, I'd like to close this video with a simple lesson that I would like to share, that every experience is different, every journey is different, but what's most important thing is how you make the most of that experience, how you value that experience, and how you let and enjoy that experience. So while I am staying here in the UAE, despite all the challenges, the struggles, I always try to see the positive side of it, which I think is one of the reasons why up until today I'm surviving, and I choose to stay here. So thank you. And if you have any questions about living here in the UAE, recommendations about my next video, please feel free to comment and click the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in our next video. Toodles!